folks, hope you're all doing well and welcome back to the channel. So today I wanted to do a ranking of the band The Darkness. Now, this is a band that I've liked for a while, and they've definitely had their ups and downs. They came out of the gate, all guns a-blazing in 2003, with their debut album Permission to Land. It won, I think, quadruple platinum in the UK. It was just a stellar record, kind of the rebirth of heavy guitar rock in that era. And then they had issues. The next record, I'm just reading here, One Way Ticket to Hell and Back in 2005. So 2003 was the big debut, and then they were like on the tip of everybody's tongue, and they were out doing shows and award shows and things. And then they did the second record in 2005, and then it started to kind of tail off. Frank Poulian, the bass player, quit the band. Justin Hawkins, the singer, songwriter, lead guitar player, he kind of went off a little bit in the deep end. So the band kind of broke up for a long period, and there's actually a documentary out there right now called This Is the Darkness, if you want to see sort of their getting back together and kind of coming back to where they were. But the band essentially is Dan and Justin Hawkins, the two brothers, the two guitar players in the band. One of the reasons why I love the band is, these are, guys playing Les Pauls through Marshalls for the most part, and they're both amazing guitar players. Frank Poulian is their bass player, who's kind of been, he did leave the band in the mid 2000s, but he did come back. And then they went through sort of a variety of drummers, but they've had Rufus Taylor in the band since the Pinewood Smile record. And Rufus Taylor, the last name Taylor, yes, he is the son of Roger Taylor from Queen. So the band's been on their ups and downs. And, it's one of these, when I talk to people about The Darkness, it's kind of polarizing. Because of, I guess, videos that came out with the first record, and Justin's coming out with the cat suit and everything else. He's got the high-pitched voice, so some people didn't really take them seriously. They thought maybe they were a bit of a parody band, kind of mocking the 80s and all of that. But if you sort of took a little bit of a deeper look, you'll see that these guys kind of really revere that music. I mean, they're honoring it, they're not parodying it. They're trying to bring it back, really. And it's, and their music is really heavy guitar based rock. They're a hard rock band. They're not a heavy metal band, they're a hard rock band, but they're a varied hard rock band. I mean, they've got some mellow pieces, some really, excellent songwriting, some major hooks and things. And, it's some of the music is real. I'm not going to say all of it is great. I mean, we're going to rank the records, but a lot of it is really good. And as far as Justin, the other polarizing thing is, Justin's voice. Now, he's got quite a large range, and a lot of times he's singing kind of in the higher upper registers, kind of falsetto, and that kind of rubs some people the wrong way. Early Geddy Lee, I guess, maybe kind of a comparison, really unfair comparison. But anyways, if you can sort of get past that and if you can accustom yourself to his voice, the music underneath it is really, really, really good. So I wanted to do this video for a long time. I'm doing it by myself, which shows you that there's not a lot of Darkness fans out there. Hopefully I can turn a few of you onto The Darkness and enjoy some of their music, because if you like guitar bass rock, man, these guys are the ticket. So here we go. So they only have 7 records, and so my number 7 is Pinewood Smile. That came out in 2017, and as I mentioned, that's the first album with Rufus Taylor on it. It's got a few good songs on there. The lead single to that record was a song called Solid Gold, which is catchy, hook laden, sort of hard rock song. It's pretty good. There's the other song that I want to mention that is kind of nice in a little bit, because these guys do vary their styles up a bit. There's a song called "Why Don't the Beautiful Cry." It's almost got kind of it's mellow, kind of maybe an R&B feel to it. That's quite good. And then the closer on the album, "Stampede of Love," is a really nice acoustic number. Um, it's not a bad record. It's just not very memorable. There's a lot better examples of you know, good tunes that they write. So this one, maybe, I don't know. It's kind of an okay record, but it there's a lot better than this. So for that reason, Pinewood Smile ranks at number 7. All right, so my number 6 is their second record, One Way Ticket to Hell and Back. This was quite a really a disappointment after the first record. The first record, they hit it out of the park, and this one was, I mean, it's like, what does AC/DC come out after Back in Black? It was that kind of thing. There are a couple of good tracks on here. The title track, One Way Ticket, is really, really good. Is It Just Me? As another good rocker. There's another single that came off of this, Girlfriend, which is terrible. There's this record is kind of a mixed bag. It's got some heavy rockers. It's got quite a few mellow tunes on it as well. But you can kind of tell they're kind of losing the thread here on this record, kind of reaching for straws. And they only hit their sort of former glory of those tracks that I mentioned in terms of like heavy rockers with really major hooks in them. But yeah, the best is yet to come. So that's my number 6, One Way Ticket to Hell and Back. All right, so for my number 5, it's their most recent record, 2020 from 2021, called Motor Heart. There's a lot of experimentation on this record. The arrangements on this record, I find them to be quite complex at times. There's a lot of parts to some of their songs. I mean, I'm not saying that they turned into a prog band. It's still rock, but there's a lot of different parts to some of the songs. So if you don't like the way they start, give it a minute. It'll turn into there'll be a crushing riff that'll just sort of come in. I mean, I'm just going through the track listing. The title cut, or not the title cut, sorry, Welcome to Glasgow is kind of cool, very experimental. There's a lot of just, it's I mean, pointing out highlights, there's a lot more highlights than not. This from this point on, I would say their catalog is pretty entertaining. They don't do Jesse's Girl, they do Jesse's Girl. That's a pretty cool song. Sticky Situations is great. Nobody Can See Me Cry. There are some slower songs on here, but for the most part, this is more of an upbeat rockin' record. And it's like when I listen to this record, it's like they took sort of that, the typical hard rock kind of, format and kind of pulled it, and stretched it out as much as they possibly can within the context of a 4 to 5 minute song. And, yeah, Motorheart is a really good record. Came out in 2021, as I said, and it's number 5 on my list. All right, my number 4 is Easter Is Cancelled. 2019, a bit of a controversial title because Easter is canceled, and on the cover there's actually, Jesus on the crucifix. But anyway, but we're here to talk about the music. So, the title cut, the first cut on here, Rock and Roll Deserves to Die. Man, it's a lot of Zeppelin-y sounding acoustic guitars, and then it gets heavy. How Can I Lose Your Love? A catchy tune. There's a lot of catchy, hooky songs on here. A lot of, radio friendly stuff, but there's some cool heavy rockers on here. Heavy Metal Lover has got some pretty crazy heavy riffing on it. A lot of good songs on here. The title cut's not bad. In Another Life is good. Choke On It's cool. We Are the Guitar Men. I love song titles like that. The other thing too that with these guys that I should have mentioned maybe at the outset is they do have a sense of humor. They don't take themselves too seriously, but they do take their music seriously, and they're great songwriters. But yeah, this record is a really good listen. Easter's Canceled. It's funny because I remember listening to it when it first came out, and I wasn't that crazy about it, but then coming back to it, a while later, man, it's a damn good record. So number 4, Easter is Canceled. All right, my number 3 is Hotcakes 2012. This is a great record. It's pretty much most of the tracks are heavy rocking tracks. There's one slow one that I can recall, but for the most part, they're pretty much nice, heavy, hard rocking riffs. Not a lot of experimentation here. This is just kind of over your head rocking songs. Street Spirit is really, really good. She's Just a Girl Eddie, which is a concert staple for them. Everybody Have a Good Time is great. It's a lot of really good up tempo, rocking songs to kind of get you going. I mean, there's the one slow one to kind of break it up, but it's pretty. Yeah, this is a really good rocking record. This is kind of when they sort of got together after the split, and yeah, they delivered a really good record. Hotcakes is number 3. All right, my number 2 would probably be most people's number 1, but it's my number 2. And my number 2 is Permission to Land, their debut record, 2003. This is an absolutely killer record. I would say 3, 2, and 1, you can't go wrong. Well, anything up from basically Motor Heart upwards, you can't go wrong. But this record is just, I'm just going through the Black Shuck, Get Your Hands Off My Woman, Growing on Me. The big single, I believe in a thing called Love. Love is Only a Feeling. Giving Up, Stuck in a Rut, Friday Night, Love on the Rocks with No Ice. The whole record is just filled with just heavy rock and classics. Just really good grinding guitars through Marshall amps with amazing lead playing. The guitar soloing, Justin does a lot of it. Dan does some of it as well. I should mention, if you ever get a chance to see these guys live, which I fortunately did, they're an incredible live band. Yeah, this record is just, I can see why it kind of did as well as it did back in 2003. It's like, hey, rock is back, just a killer record, Permission to Land. But still, it's my number 2. My number 1 from 2015. This album absolutely blew me away. The Last of Our Kind. This one I try to share with folks. Hey man, you can't get into the darkness. Here's a record that'll do it for you. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But The Last of Our Kind just absolutely blew me away from the first time I heard it. There's not a dog on this record. I'm just going to go through Barbarian. The opening track is absolutely epic and killer. Open Fire, hooky as hell. Last of Our Kind, the title cut is amazing. Roaring Waters is great. Wheels of the Machine, Mighty Wings, Mudslide. Some of the riffs on this record are just, that being one of them is amazing. Sarah, oh Sarah, you got a nice, beautiful melodic song there. Hammer and Tongs, just really, really hooky pop. There's just, this record is just, the other thing I really like about this record is the guitars on this record sound so damn good. If you're a fan of Gibson guitars through Marshalls and you want to hear a really good recording, think about, the way the guitars on, say, I mentioned it earlier, but say the guitars on Back in Black sounded, this is sort of the more heavier version of that. The guitars sound amazing. The recording is amazing. The performances, the guitar playing, the soloing, even Frankie Poulin plays a Thunderbird bass, which are a Gibson bass. It's just, I absolutely love this record, and I've tried to turn people onto it. But man, yeah, give it a chance. Give these guys a chance. If you can accustom yourself, because I know that usually the sticking point is, oh, that singer's voice is too high. if you can accustom yourself to Justin's voice, man, these guys have some really, really good records. They're great musicians. They put on a hell of a show, and yeah, give them a chance. The Darkness, for me, one of the best bands that's come out in the last, I don't know, 25 years or so. So there you go. So if you're new to the channel, please hit the like. Please consider subscribing. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Cheers.